Welcome to the Vault Excel. Thank you for joining me. This is breaking news pertaining to the Tepes out of Columbus, Ohio. The ex-husband of Monique has been arrested in the said homicides. Thank you for joining me. Lord have mercy. Thank God he was apprehended. ABC News is the source.
An Ohio dentist and his wife. New court documents show the victim's ex-husband has been charged in the murders. ABC's Olivia Rubin is here with that story. Olivia, what do we know at this hour?
A stunning development in a story you have followed quite closely now. Police have arrested who court documents indicate is Monique's ex-husband. Divorce records obtained by our affiliate on the ground there show that the two were married and then divorced in 2017. After less than 2 years of marriage, those documents say that they were, quote, incompatible. And in a new police affidavit documenting how they got to her ex-husband, saying that they identified a suspect from surveillance footage that showed a car pulling up to the area before the murders and then leaving soon after. They say they then found that car soon after in Illinois and linked it to the suspect. You see him right there. He's now facing counts of murder. He has not yet entered a plea, but is set to appear in court for his first appearance on Monday.
All right, thanks for the update, Olivia.
All right, everybody. ABC News is the source. If you need verification for the information. Wicked story. Everyone had their speculations of who the person was. And obviously, law enforcement was working diligently to solve this said crime. Hello, Sky. Thank you for joining me. Happy New Year, dear. Many people thought it was somebody that knows the victims because the person was in the house and unalived the two in their private domain, meaning they either broke in or was let in. And where this is even more diabolical, with people speculating that it was somebody known to the victims. How did this man, Mr. McKee, get in? Whoa, that's not a nice mugshot. He's got some strong jawline. They were only married 2 years, so incompatible, it says on the divorce decree. What happened? How long did they know each other? How long did they date before getting married? And why did he decide many moons later to execute these two people? So then we have to ask, for him to travel from another state, Illinois, and make his way over to Ohio, was he stalking the two? Shot the husband more times. Angry with the husband? Why are you angry with him? You were married to Monique, so help Queen understand, because I'm utterly confused. And then someone said, well, he shot him more times to make sure he was dead. Well, could have shot her more times too to make sure she was dead. Well, they are dead. Stay woke, everybody. They're both dead. But people assume because he was shot more times, he was the intended target. Well, la-di-da. He knew Monique because he was married to her. So now put that on paper. The plot is deep. Do you hear me? The plot is deep. Because many people just assume because the husband was shot more times, it was because he was the target and she was in the way. Well, she wasn't in the way. It's more like Mr. Tepe was in the way. Shut your mouth. Wow. Micheal McKee is a medical doctor. He works, or he used to work, as a vascular surgeon. So that means Mr. McKee is quite smart. Stay woke now. He attended medical school at Ohio State University College of Medicine and holds active medical licenses in Illinois and California. He practices in the Rockford, Illinois area, which is where he was arrested today for the murders of Monique and her current husband, Spencer Tepe. Scott says some people just don't know how or when to let go. See, this is what's disturbing to me. It's that in their union, they knew it wasn't working at some point. And what have I said to you all so many times about relationships? that the average person out here is with somebody they know they don't need to be with. They know it's not working. And yet they get married, they have babies, it still ain't working. So you have to look at this situation the same. These two were together. They weren't even married 2 years, 3 years. They were still in the honeymoon phase and said, this ain't working. I ain't happy. So what happened with the two? Because as I always say, you got to go back in the book. You got to go back in the book and look at how we came to two people being unalive in their own damn house. And that's the safest place you're supposed to be, is in your own home and church. Not so. What happened between Monique and Mr. Michael? Why did they divorce? What happened? How long did they date? Was one of them cheating? Irreconcilable differences? Somebody's throwing their socks in the floor. Somebody's not closing the lid after urinating. I don't know. But I know they moved on, allegedly. But somebody did not move on. So where are we getting ready to take this nonsense? Because I got a feeling it's probably going to be a whole lot worse than what we know with him being arrested. Are we going to hear that somebody was still talking with somebody, but currently married? Just saying. Because we're already trying to figure out who the hell killed these people. Now we know it's an ex-spouse. So then you have to say, well, you've been divorced since 17. 8 years. What are you holding on to? You hold on if you're still canoodling with the person, perhaps. 8 years is a long time to be holding on. It's a very long time. And it's not to say that it doesn't happen. But we don't really know what was going on with these people. So the dead can't speak, so I'm going to ask, hypothetically, was Monique still talking to her ex-husband? Number one. Number two, did she still have feelings for her ex-husband? Was he calling her, texting her? Were they meeting? Were they having relations? Or are we talking about a man who could not move on and had been stalking her, bothering her, harassing her for 8 years? What are we going to find out? Because I said to myself recently, I said, I got a feeling this story is going to be really, really bad when we find out who the suspect is. I said, it'd be more crazy if it was some random bloke found his way in the house and just shot these people, road rage. I didn't know what to think. I've learned now not to even assume who the suspect is because people get mad over the stupidest stuff. You throw a bird out the window, somebody follows you home and poop, 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 pop you right there in your driveway. So I didn't know what to think. But as they have said, experts, detectives, FBI agents, everything is going to be in the data. And that was one thing that was also mentioned besides data, how the suspect got there. So now we learned he was driving around, car at the scene, obviously casing the joint out, making sure they're home, doubles back on foot, and then walks off after, probably out the back door, don't know how he entered, goes through the alley, and then later gets into a car, is how he was made and found out. Yes. That's the main question too. How the hell did he get in? Because why would I be letting my wife's ex-husband in the house at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock? What you got to talk about with me and my wife? You better call her, but you're not coming in here. And maybe that's what the problem was with these two. And I'm not trying to be funny or victim shame or blame, but it's been said about these two, they were just a bubbly couple. Maybe they were too damn bubbly. Maybe they were too happy, go lucky, if you understand where I'm going. The type of people that ain't holding no grudges, all for one, one for all. Hey, yeah, come on over. I know you used to date my wife, married to my wife. We're okay. We're friends. Have a glass of wine. What if we find out this man has been going around these people, seething and loathing both of them? Mad as hell, holding a grudge, but he ain't saying nothing. See, we don't even know where to take this because we don't know if he's been contacting her, she's been contacting him, or he's been sneaking around, driving around up from Illinois, peeping around through alleyways. Only God knows. Only God knows. And I have seen this a lot with white couples. They can mingle with their exes. A lot of black folks, we don't do that. Hey, don't take it personal. A lot of us, we move on. We ain't meeting back up to have dinner with the exes. We ain't doing that lifetime stuff. And for all I know, this couple could have been like, hey, no hard feelings. We're having a dinner party. You're welcome to come over. You come to town, stop by. We can have drinks, go to dinner, catch a show. You see, you got to be careful who you're dealing with out here. Because as I have made the last live pertaining to dating and fake people, liars, pathological liars, the person you're sleeping with might be the person you need to be worried about. Not that stranger in the street, the boogeyman. See, the boogeyman is sometimes your friend, your lover, your husband, your wife, your relative. And sadly, the boogeyman was Monique's ex-husband. Surgeon has 2 licenses in 2 different states to practice medicine. What do they say about people who are highly smart? Don't got no common sense. You're willing to forfeit a career as a doctor to go hunt down 2 people minding their business in their house. Make it make sense. What was really going on with all 3 people? Friends, not friends, cordial, not cordial. Hey, I miss you. I want to get back with you. I made a mistake. No, I can't. I'm married. I love him. No, you don't. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Take me back. I want you back. How did it go? This is tragic. Because either way, the 2 are not coming back, and they have left behind 2 children, and somebody's got to eventually tell these kids what happened to their parents. Mommy and daddy aren't coming back. And that's a terrible conversation to have with a child. You know, try explaining that to a 1 and a 4-year-old. Because the question, their answer is going to continuously be, why? I don't understand why. Who wants to have this conversation with a toddler? 2 toddlers. Nobody. What was going on with the Tepes and Mr. McKee? Mr. McKee. Why would you do this? Kill these people in cold blood, where they sleep, children in the home. You have left these children without 2 parents. It wasn't your right. It wasn't your place. I don't care what the fuck was going on with you and this woman and the husband. I don't care. You had no right to snuff these people out. And then you just casually walked on down the road with your good little boots and hoodie on. La-di-da, I did that. Yep. And you're now arrested. Incarcerated. Did Mr. McKee have a girlfriend? Who was he living with in Chicago? He was living in the 2100 block of Lincoln Park, very snazzy neighborhood. And everybody who knows the Queen knows that's where I'm from. So you know I know the area. And I was like, oh yeah, he has some money. Because any low numbers in Lincoln Park, you got some paper. They don't start getting working class until you get to about the 6,000 block. Was it worth it, Mr. McKee, to forfeit your freedom? And you know, the sad thing about homicide is that There are people who will never apologize, never have remorse, and don't mind sitting in jail, prison for unaliving a person or persons. And I got a feeling, just looking at his photograph, he's that guy. I don't care. I don't care that I went to medical school for years. I don't care. I don't care. I wanted them gone. But why? Mr. McKee, why did you kill this couple? They seem awfully happy in that 2021 wedding video. But you know what I keep telling people? Looks are deceiving, videos are deceiving, because you're looking back in time. It's now 2026. So that video is years old. How somebody looked in 21, it may not be how they were looking in December of 25. Shut your mouth. Isn't that amazing? I think you all know what I mean, because you're a human and you do know what I mean. You can go back right now and look at your own photographs of you 5 years ago and know where you were when that picture was taken, what you were doing, and how you were feeling. But it does not mean today you feel the same way as you felt when that picture was taken or that video was done or you went live. Do you understand what I'm saying? Spencer, she's only been married since 21. June, July of 21. So she was not married that long to either one. She was only married to McKee for 2 years or so. They divorced in 17. So if he's been pining away, he's been pining a long time. 8 years. But see, we don't know the dynamic between McKee and Monique. Talking, not talking. He's trying to message her. He messaged her by phone, text, Facebook. I don't know. I'm just trying to understand, why would you allow yourself to get in this situation to unalive her? Now, it's only going to be one or two options. They were still talking, dealing with each other, messing around, or he's been seething, loathing the fact that they didn't work out. For all we know, she wanted the divorce. See, we don't know. We have to know what the marriage was like to get to a determination how these two ended up dead. So how was McKee and Monique years ago? How long did they date? What was their marriage like? Why did they want a divorce? Did they keep contact after they divorced? Why didn't she have children with him? And this man may be jealous. He could have been just sitting around for years thinking of a way to get rid of her. I'm mad. I'm angry. This marriage didn't work. This is embarrassing. And then look, and let's weigh the professions. And this is no disrespect to anybody that's a dentist, doctor of dentistry. This man is a heart surgeon. So he's looking at her like, you done dumped me and went and got a damn dentist. I bet somebody's like, ooh, queen, that's low. No, because you got to get in the head of the killer. You got to get in the head of the person that's angry, that's bitter. And you've been there. Don't act like you ain't never been mad, upset, jealous that a relationship didn't work out. You may not want it to kill the person, but you were hot butter. What the hell he want with her for? What she got that I ain't got? What he got that I ain't got? It's human nature to wonder, why not me? You care for somebody, but they don't care for you, or they don't care enough. Why won't he choose me? Why won't she choose me? I love her. I care for her. I can give her more. I can be the best man. But that's what people don't seem to understand. We all got to go down this road. The universe says no. What were you thinking, Sky? The universe says no, it ain't working. And you see this with people who are actually with people. You're walking around looking at them like, what are you doing with this person? You two don't even get along. You can't talk. You don't have anything nice to say to each other. And God forbid they got kids walking around smirking at one another, cussing each other out, 2 minutes from exacting a homicide. And I say this every time I see people get married. Every time I look on Facebook and somebody says, I'm getting married, first thing I say is, okay, how long is this going to last? And it's not to be cynical. It's because every time I look up, somebody's talking about they're divorced. Somebody had an affair. So when I see these pictures of people walking down the aisle, first thing I'm wondering is, when am I going to look up and see somebody separated? Somebody ain't happy. Because a lot of times we are in the belly of the beast and don't want to climb our ass out. And we play mind games with ourselves. And I'm not saying this is their situation. I'm just speaking in general terms. A lot of people are with people they know they have no business with, but they don't want to be alone. And you've possibly been there yourself. You've liked somebody you knew was no good for you. It wasn't working. They could have been a nice person, but you two just didn't get along. That's okay. But you're worried about what people are going to think. Oh, honey, he's a nice guy. What happened? What's the matter? I like him. Well, you ain't sleeping with him. See, a lot of times people stay with people for aesthetics, how it looks, how it appears. Don't want to disappoint other people. But you can't live like that. And maybe to this man, this was a disappointment, him and Monique not working out. People may have liked her, spoke highly of her, just like we've been hearing about her recently. And he has been lonely, this man, depressed, because maybe the one girl he really liked walked out on him. I don't know. I don't know who filed for divorce. I'm just throwing out scenarios. Sky said, that's why I never dated or remarried after my husband passed away 18 years ago. Well, Sky, there are people who've remarried and gone on to date after death. Some people have happy stories. He said, what you were saying about leaving him to go to a dentist, which would be below him, for lack of better words. Okay. Yeah. That's probably what he was saying to himself. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. So you can agree to disagree. I'm not really on any fence pertaining to what I'm putting out. I'm just throwing out scenarios because this man got to a bad place. When you start traveling to a whole different state, you didn't just land there by accident. He's plotted this in his head for God knows how long. And we can talk about that as well. How long this, I don't even know the word to use. This urge. Mr. McKee, how long have you been wanting to plot the deaths of these two people? What the hell? She's with a dentist. I'm a doctor. I'm a damn doctor. I'm a vascular surgeon. I just read that to you. Check it out. It's in Google. I'm a surgeon. I live in a swanky neighborhood on the north side of Chicago. Possibly, what is that? The Gold Coast? Because, let's see, the 1000 block would be the Gold Coast. That doctor has some money, honey. He has something. I'm living good, but I'm in love with somebody who I'm no longer married to. It's got to be that. There's no other way. There's no other way to look at it. You don't just go gun down somebody you ain't even been with in 8 years. Unless, one, you never moved on. The person was misleading you along the way. You were still having sex with the person. And I hate to put up that poll, but I possibly will. No disrespect to the dead. But do you all think this woman was still messing around with Dr. McKee? Maybe they hooked up. some weak moment. She reached out to him or he reached out to her. They got the talking. They got the reminiscing. One thing led to another. And he's back entangled. When you gonna leave him? Did that happen? Maybe they were having sex, but she ain't trying to leave Spencer. I can't leave him. I just married him. I'm not really happy, but I can't leave him. Why not? Oh, you're using me. See, you don't even know. And this is not to speak ill of either deceased person, but you really don't know how people are living. You don't know what people got going on. For all we know, Spencer could have been messing around with somebody. Could have been canoodling with somebody at the office. I don't know. You just don't know. And you think about everybody who was going on and on about the 911 calls, that it was too soon for people to be calling. That was suspicious. Well, he had that type of relationship with his co-workers, his boss. You have seen this time and time again. It happened with the Chris Watts story. That woman's friend was concerned when she didn't see or hear from her the next day. She was Johnny on the spot at that Watts house. So there are people who live like this. Now you got some of us, ain't nobody checking on us. They don't know if we dead, alive, nothing. They just looking for a Facebook post. Well, she ain't posted in a while. I wonder if she's okay. But you got people who, they're on it. Mama ain't answering that phone. 10:30. It's 4 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock. Okay, something ain't right. We're going to do a wellness check. Susie didn't come to work today. That ain't like her. Everybody is different. And when you have professional jobs and the people are professional on their job, they show up, they're reliable, it does send a red flag to the masses that they are not at their post. So I didn't weigh it necessarily that the killer was calling saying, hey, I'm outside of the house, nobody's answering. I didn't think of it like that. I said, obviously this man is dependable and he had not shown up and his wife wasn't answering. So the people at the job were wondering if the dentist was coming to work. May have had a packed house at the dental office, and they're wondering where the dentist is. So then I started wondering about that. Like, how many dentists work at the practice? I never heard anybody tell us, were there 2 dentists, 3 dentists? I never heard. All right. Colleen says, no way. I think she was actually hiding from him. Some people just got right in the head and personally F onto think her ex got over her and became obsessed. I think he was stalking her and she knew she was being stalked because the boss saying the wife, especially not answering, was more concerning. I don't know. I'm not here. Let me make this clear during this live. I'm not here to say what was going on with the Tepes and Mr. McKee. I'm not here to say that anybody was having an affair, misleading anyone. But it's obvious Mr. McKee had an issue with the 2 decedents, whatever it was and whatever it was not. Nonetheless, these are 2 people who are not coming back and they have 2 children who don't have their parents. And it's sad, whether this was random, whether it was Mr. McKee, co-worker, whomever, it's bad business. But the one thing nobody can explain is how the hell he got in that house. So I'll let you all ponder on that. Because you can say he's obsessed, she was hurtful, she was dead, she was running from him. Why would she be running? She had a whole new life for somebody else. Make it make sense. You got security cameras in the front and the back of your house. You should have motion sensors. Because obviously somebody's not listening to what I'm saying here. How did Mr. McKee get in that damn house? Is there a gadget that you can zap at the door of these keypads. I don't know. They got them for garage doors. Maybe so. I don't know. I just know 2 people didn't wake up. There will be a celebration of life services for the couple tomorrow. Once again, my condolences and prayers to the Tepe family, friends in the community. Well, who leaves a door unlocked in Columbus, Ohio? We've heard this 1,000 times from Coffin Dapper. This was not the best peripheral near their home. Their area was an up-and-coming area. So it wasn't a swanky area around the block. So if you know you're living around the corner from people who are possibly working class, however you want to word it, you ain't leaving no doors unlocked. And you can best believe where Mr. McKee lived in Chicago. He wasn't leaving his doors unlocked, and he's living probably in $1 million home, perhaps. No. Anybody live in the city know the game. If you've ever lived in the city, you know the routine. You do not go outside of the door. Hell no. So that's why I'm bringing you these hypotheses that perhaps there's more going on with these people for him to be able to get in the house. But still, it was still seemed crazy to me if these people were speaking to one another, that he would be at their house at between 2 and 5 in the morning. There's no party, there's no function. They don't have friends over for dinner. Maybe he went there, knocked on the door, told him he wanted to talk to them. Could it be, as I said earlier, these people are just nice people and they don't mind opening the door to an ex at 2 o'clock in the morning? We do have people like this. Well, Colleen, I have no idea. But that's the one thing everyone needs to understand, that somebody's got to explain to the masses how Mr. McKee got in. That's why I said there's possibly more to this. Because we just found out today that he got arrested. So you know damn well there's more to the story. It ain't going to be but 1 or 2 ways he got in. They didn't say it was ransacked. They didn't say the door was jimmy. They didn't say a window was cracked, broke. If he was let in, do the math. He could have been friends with these people. And this one day he said, I'm going to kill him. I just need to get in. And he called them. Hey, I got to talk to you all. I got something on my mind. I'm not feeling good. It's an emergency. They stupidly let him in. I see it all the time. Because like I said, we're all human. We make mistakes. We fool with people we know we ain't got no business fooling with. We trust people we shouldn't be trusting. But if they are putting on an act, how do we know that they're getting ready to bamboozle us? That's why I'm saying, for all we know, these people could have been dealing with one another. And the husband or Monique let Mr. McKee in. And then he turned on them. I don't know. Because now somebody's going to have to explain that. Unless the police did not reveal to us a jimmy door, a broke door. Maybe they didn't want to tell us that. I don't know. Oh, okay. Colleen says, or hey, I was in the area drinking. Can't drive home. Can I come crash? Exactly. See, this is why I said a lot of people are more forgiving, and they're not harboring any ill will towards an ex, or it was never an issue that was just like so major to be hateful. And for all we know, this man has been talking to Monique since they divorced. Let's say they divorced amicably, and they talk periodically. Hey, how you doing? What you been doing? How's your folks? How are your parents? See, we don't know. But if the chief of police comes back tomorrow and tells us the same version, that there was no broken door, no zapping of the door some type of way, no cracked windows, no kicked in doors, then one of them let him in. And you don't let in somebody that you got a problem with. And I think most of you know this. If he came across as a rude, nasty, stalking, you know damn well this man ain't about to let this man in his house when he got kids. And it's 2, 3 in the morning. Why would he do that? And I get it. I might be putting my foot in my mouth. People do stupid SHIT. But I want to go out on a limb and think at late hour, he ain't about to let some man in that he knows been stalking his wife and having problems. And she's been complaining. And we didn't hear of no police reports. We did not hear that she thought somebody was stalking her, bothering her. We have not heard any of that. We have not heard any friends say, I got an idea who I think the killer may be. I haven't heard any of that. Any of that. It could be these people were cordial to one another. And that is how Mr. McKee got in the house. And then if that is true, you're talking about a diabolical man that he put on a front to get in that house. He said to himself, I'm done. I got to get in. I'm going to get in and I'm going to kill these two for whatever reason. That's some scary shit. Is there anybody in the viewing audience that would like to come up on a panel and give their opinion pertaining to the latest developments pertaining to the Tepe murders? If so, I'll drop the link. Lord have mercy, what a story. Oh. Now, the next thing everybody's going to talk about, the upcoming trial. This should be a hot butter mess. How's he going to plead? Guilty, not guilty. Karen, hello, Karen. He hacked into the security system somehow. He may have. There are people who are very crafty. All right, as I told you all, Michael has 2 licenses where he can practice medicine, 2 different states. And here's some more information I just found from the Columbus Dispatch. Medical licensure databases show McKee went to medical school, Ohio State University. He has active licenses as a vascular surgeon in Illinois and California. He had a license in Nevada, which lapsed in mid-2025. Clark County, Nevada court records show McKee is one of several doctors who were named in an ongoing personal injury lawsuit. Well, now, so Mr. McKee ain't been doing right. Or this is somebody else's perception. I don't know. This is what's weird. Before I went live, they were showing a body cam of somebody going to a house. It's like an older type house with the white siding. And it looks like it was not a fancy house. And I thought, whose house is that? Who were they looking for him at this person's house? I was wondering whose house this was. Because they said they found him in Rockford. But, you know, he lives in Chicago allegedly. Very interesting. But he works in Rockford, if you did not know. McKee's medical license shows no disciplinary history in any of the states where he has practiced. So, okay, no disciplinary history. But it shows that in Clark County, Nevada. He is one of several doctors who were named in an ongoing personal injury lawsuit. So what is that pertaining to? A surgery that went wrong? Somebody died during surgery? What happened? McKee has no discernible criminal record outside of traffic tickets. At one time, McKee had a hunting license in Ohio, but it is unclear if that license remains active or valid. Well, let's just say this. He regained his hunting license, but not in the legal way. Lord Jesus. Monique Sabatersky married McKee in August of 2015, according to Franklin County domestic court records. Monique filed for divorce in May of 2017, according to court records. McKee was listed as living in Virginia at the time, where he appears to have been attending a surgical residency program. So they were together while he was going to school. Probably not making any money. I don't know. Who knows? Court records show the couple was separated at the time of the divorce, which was finalized about a month later. There's no indication in court records that there was any animosity between the couple. They did not share any children. The docket for the divorce filing lists a mutual restraining order. Very interesting. This is standard in divorce cases and prevents either party from accessing assets or bank accounts without going through court processes while the divorce is pending. Okay, interesting. All right, it says McKee has family members in the Zanesville area. He attended Ohio State University for undergraduate and medical school. Played football at Zanesville Bishop Rosecrans High School, where Ohio High School Athletic Association records show he earned honorable mention, all-state honors his senior season. He has received several academic honors during his high school career, according to the Zanesville Times Recorder Archives. McKee will continue to be held in Illinois until he's extradited to Ohio. Once he's brought back to Ohio, he will have a hearing in Franklin County Municipal Court to have a bond set, and that should possibly take place on Monday. I'm just throwing that part in there. The case will then be reviewed by a grand jury, potential indictment, and additional charges. If you need verification for what I have read to you, the Columbus Dispatch is the source. Lord have mercy. Oh, Lordy, what a mess. And once again, that 911 call that had been released to the public, that was not Monique. That was attending a gathering at their home. So this is why they tell you have to be careful about jumping to conclusions. And whoever released that 911 call, you should have done your fact checking before releasing it and having people assume that was Monique making that 911 call. So once again, funeral arrangements have been announced. Just bringing you all an update. Oh, Lord have mercy. I don't know. Colleen said he had a rental car. Well, they found it. Indeed, they found it. And I said it to myself. I said, this person walked to their home. I said, but they parked a car somewhere, a couple of blocks, because the weather probably wasn't so cold, freezing. So they could probably stand and walk a couple of blocks. When you live in the city, you're from the city, you can walk a while. It's not like living here in the South. We get, it gets 40 degrees here and we're acting like we're crazy. But when you live up north, you can walk for miles even in freezing weather, because it's just, you get used to that life. So who knows how far away he parked the car, curious to that. But that's what I said to myself. I said, the person probably walked a couple of blocks and got into a car. But I said, the point is, law enforcement is getting ready to follow that trail. Some type of way, they're going to go down that alley. They're going to go down every street. And somehow, that is how they caught him. Going to that damn car. What about that? And then two, they're going to look at anybody related to the people, friends, close family members, exes. They're always going to ask that. Was Monique married? Was Spencer married? Had an ex-girlfriend? Was the last time they were with somebody? Was anybody having an affair? Anybody get a new friendship, new Facebook friend? They're going to look at all of that. Look in their phone, see who they've been talking to. And the phone may have revealed information as well. For all we know, he's been texting her. She's been texting him. I don't know. They could have seized his phone. Sir, we just like to have your phone, just to rule you out. And for all we know, the dodo bird had his dumb phone on him too. Had his phone on him. Of course, he'd be stupid to have his phone on him, but people do. And the phone puts him in Ohio, puts him right in the backyard, puts him at the house recently, because I read earlier, the car was seen driving by the house. So somebody had said in a commentary I was listening to last night that this gives them the Idaho murders vibe. Well, they may be on to something, because we now have learned that he has been by the house. Carl had been by the house. So he's not a very bright bulb. So it doesn't matter if he rented a car, drove his own car. The point is, you have got to be savvy when it comes to driving cars. They have a camera across the street that is a city camera. That damn camera probably can swivel around 360 degrees each direction. And then who knows, at the next block, there's probably another camera. So you're riding, they can just trail that car, probably trail it all the way out of the city. It's just stupid. He obviously was hung up on this woman. I don't know what happened between them. I don't know when they last spoke, if they were speaking. Don't know if they had a cordial relationship. But see, I can ask these questions over and over, but then they don't make no sense, me asking them, because I have to ask the main question, how did he get in the damn house? So I have to know that first before I can even dive into this other stuff I'm talking about. How the hell did you get in the house? Mr. McKee, would you like to enlighten us? Hello, Bonnie. The Tepe couple's been married for 5 years. Does that mean he never got over her for 5 years? Well, they've been divorced since 17, Mr. McKee. So you're talking about 8.5 years. He ain't been over his ex-wife. Okay? They divorced in 17. The people were murdered December 25. So if it's what we're thinking, which would probably be what it is, he's been pining over her for 8.5 years. Hello, Bonnie. Donna says, I believe he was still hung up on her and couldn't move past it. Some people's kids. It was probably a lot of things, She's moved on. She found a guy, a dentist. And don't you find that interesting? She's marrying somebody else in the medical field. Now, I don't want to play devil's advocate, but what is her line of work? I'm curious. Because what are the odds she meets another guy that's in the medical field? Are we going to find out she wants to marry a guy that makes a little bit of paper? Just saying, just throwing it out there, because I do find it strange. One's a medical surgeon and the other one's a dentist. Very bizarre. Stay woke, everybody. He's been charged with 2 counts of murder. Police identified McKee as a suspect after tracking a vehicle seen near the Tepe home around the time of the killings in Illinois. Now, why did it jump off? Hold on. Oh, Lordy. Jealousy, anger, rage. Bonnie said, wow. Thank you, Donna. Yeah, all of the above, Karen. But the one point that you all have is the obvious. These people have not been together allegedly. Because, see, I don't know the dealings of Monique and her ex-husband. Let's just say these two never had sex. There's no meeting up for coffee. We're not talking on Messenger. He's been pining for 8.5 years since his divorce. So let's make it make sense, because this is where I have the problem. Whether he pined for her 8 years, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, how did Michael get in that damn house? Because that's the one thing I think nobody in this audience is really thinking about. He's obsessed. He's obsessed. Okay, but how did he get in the house? Mr. McKee, how did you get in this damn house? And if I find out they got one of them little zapper things that can mess with them locks, we are all in trouble. Because that means nobody is safe with those keypad locks, which we learned that about the garage door openers, the security on the cars, Hondas, Toyotas. They've got a certain little gadget that can open the doors to certain makes of cars. So these little crooks just run around the parking lots and just start hitting them. And all these cars start beeping, 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 and doors start popping open. Are we going to find out he had a gadget that can open keypad lock? Let me Google, since AI knows every damn thing. 1 second, everybody. I'm probably going to get the answer that I'm already thinking. All right, everybody, hold on.
Domino's specialty pizzas are Domino's best pizzas.
All right, we're going to listen to a video about how to access the key lock. Lord Jesus, help me. They say you want to know how to do anything, go to YouTube.
That comes with it in the kit. Super simple to install. I'm only going to need a little Allen wrench to turn the door the other way, and a screwdriver to put the screws in on each side. Now, this product was a gift, but I chose this because I needed to update my door. I have a door that I use all the time, and I'm constantly having to carry my key on me, and I really don't want to do that. So this has 5 different ways you can access the door. And so you can do fingerprint, you can do the numbers, you can do this little card that
Karen, please.
You get 2 little cards, and all you do is pass it in front. So I can keep that on me. I can use the actual key if I want, which is not what I want to do. Or on my phone, so they make an app. It's a Bluetooth app, and all you do is Bluetooth to it. It'll unlock it. So you have to be in a certain range, but it'll unlock it. So I thought that was really cool. Also has an indicator that tells you when it's locked, when it's unlocked. They have weatherproof stripping for both sides. This is going to be just a huge upgrade. And so I'll kind of give you a close-up on everything you get. Then I'll go ahead and install it and do a demo on a couple ways to unlock it. So before I got this, I did measure for where the door handle goes, that the knob is going to be at the right place, and that's something you want to double check before you order any door. But
Okay, let
most
me
doors
see. Okay, the smart lock offers multiple ways to unlock a door. So I don't know. I thought they had a keypad lock. That's what I'm trying to find. It says, okay, under numerical keypad, it says users can enter a preset code to unlock the door. Then we have the lock comes with key cards that can be swiped to unlock the door. Then there's physical key. The lock can also be opened with a traditional key. Then we have smartphone app. A Bluetooth enabled app allows users to unlock the door remotely within a certain range, which you heard him say. Now he's talking about let's see, the video has mentions that the lock has an auto lock feature that can be turned on or off. The lock requires 4A batteries, which are not included. In case of power failure, a power bank can be used to provide temporary power to the lock. The installation process is described as simple and straightforward. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm trying to see. Hold on, you guys. Because when you type in stuff on here, it's just have to be very meticulous. I'm trying to find something that talks about the keypad lock. Hold on.
The side door of the church using the passcode that you have been given for Eucharistic adoration. So let's say, for example, that your code is 123456789 hash. You need to type that on the keypad that's here now. The number is not visible yet, and it's locked. So first what you need to do would be to hover your hand so that you would see the keypad lit. There you go, it's lit now. So once it's lit, you enter your passcode. Make sure you hear that sound for each number, and then hash. Now you can open it. Okay, and then after a few seconds, it locks itself. So if you just close that, and then it locks itself. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, buddy. That's just as worse. Hell, as somebody said in the audience, it should lock itself back. Oh Jesus, make it make sense. Lock picking. Oh God, do I even want to open that Pandora's box? Hold on, everybody. That's 22 minutes. That's too long. For a man so smart, he sure is dumbass with all the cameras around these days. He jumped the back fence and went in through the basement windows. On Greg Hughes' video, you can see how. Well, how did he get to the window? That's a big guy. He's not a little guy. How did he get to the window? I'm trying to find one that tells us how to get into the key pushback. Lord mercy. Hold on, everybody. It's everything but what I'm looking for. This is from 2018. How to easily decode a door lock. Let me type that in. Hold on, everybody. I want to know. I want to make this make sense.
Lawyer, and what I have for you today is an old mechanical keypad deadbolt that was sent to me by Ken in New Jersey. And it's a very common design. This one says digital and is made in Japan. They actually still make a similar product, as do a number of other companies, mostly out of China. Here's an example of one out of my collection. Now, decoding these tends to be fairly easy when they're in good working condition.
This is from 22.
Despite this one's age and apparent wear, it does seem to work reasonably well. The trick to decoding these is to apply heavy tension to the knob, then probing each one of the buttons. All of the buttons will be springy, but an experienced hand will feel that some buttons have 2 stages of spring tension. It'll start light and get slightly heavier before you hit a stop. Other buttons will have only 1 stage before you hit that solid stop. It's the second type of button that indicates the button needs to be pressed. I should also note that the order in which you press the buttons doesn't matter, so a code of 1, 2, 3, 4 is the same as 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's give this a try.
It's an older
Now,
one.
I would normally change the combination first, but that requires partial disassembly, and I could never do it without knowing the new combination. So I left the original code. The first thing we're going to do is push C to clear everything out. You can see the knob will not turn. So let's apply some tension and get to work. Okay, number 1, I feel 2 stages. Number 6, I feel that stop pretty clearly. Same on 7.
Dear God.
Same on 2. Okay, 8 definitely has 2 stages. So does 3. So does 4. Same on 9. Okay, 5, I'm hitting that stop after 1 stage. 2 stages there. 2 stages on the X. We're hitting that stop after 1 on Z. It's pretty clear. There we go. The knob turned.
And he popped it. This is one of the
Okay,
older
folks,
ones.
that was
That's
our
one of the older ones where it looks like a remote with a big knob on the door. This is from 2022. I'm assuming theirs is digital. Hmm. Now here it says, many electronic locks have a hidden key cylinder for manual override. Did he have a key? Some smart locks have modes, often activated by a master code, that allow guests to unlock without entering a PIN. And this is under emergency temporary access. I'm just doing some double checking, everybody. Because they got all type of different keypads on doors now. Hold on. Now they said avoid common and easily guessable codes, use a mix of numbers, and do not follow simple patterns. Restrictive code sharing, share codes strictly on a need-to-know basis to minimize security risk. For added security, use locks that require more than just a code, such as biometric identifiers or secondary verification through an app. And they talk about the battery a lot too. That's mentioned a lot to avoid unexpected power failures. Make sure you keep the software up to date to ward against potential cyber threats. This person says, Bobby Johnson says, thank you, but if the battery is dead and you don't have the key, you're outside the house. Is there any way to override the battery to get in? That was 11 months ago. Good question. I wonder if he had been threatening them or giving them a hard time, and possibly the current husband might have mentioned something about it to his coworkers, and that's why they all jumped on it. Well, yeah, somebody mentioned that in one of the TV programs, Donna. Okay. This was from 2019. So I don't know if this will be the same, because these are the type of keypads that are like the heavy ones from years ago. The locks they have now is digital. So that would have been years ago, that type of lock. Let me put digital in front of this, because it keeps bringing up the same type of information. It still keeps saying the same thing about pressing on the buttons. Check for a backup key. Some smart locks have a hidden physical keyhole. Use the app. If it's a Bluetooth Wi-Fi smart lock, your phone app might unlock it. Reset with the default code. Try the manufacturer's default code or use reset button, often inside the battery compartment. to factory reset it, then reprogram. My God, you had to be standing outside fumbling with the damn door to do all that. They still keep saying apply attention to the doorknob if you're trying to turn it. Feel for the buttons. But the newer ones won't have buttons. They'll just be the digital screen. I don't know why they keep showing these older ones for some reason in these videos. I'm not trying to take up. I was trying to find something. It says to open a digital keypad lock without the code, you can use the physical key override, a backup power source if the batteries are dead, the manufacturer's app for smart locks, or a factory reset, which requires internal access and will erase existing codes. So the one thing they talk about is a physical key. It says most digital locks have a hidden or visible keyhole. For emergency access, look for a small cover plate, a logo plate, or a panel on the side of the lock or door handle that conceals a traditional key slot. If you have the original key, you can use it to unlock the door. Then it says if the lock's batteries are dead and the keypad is unresponsive, many models have external contact points, often two nubs on the bottom of the keypad. Holding a fresh 9-volt battery against these contacts will provide temporary power, allowing you to enter your code. And then it says for smart locks with the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth capabilities, you can use associated mobile app to remotely or locally unlock the door, provide you have your phone and the app login credentials. If you have access to the interior side of the door, you can perform a factory reset. So that's, I guess, if you're inside. Removing the interior battery cover, locating the reset or program button, pressing and holding the button for a specific duration, 5 to 10 seconds, but check your manual until you hear a beep or see a blue light flash. Once reset, the lock will revert to its default settings or allow you to set a new code immediately. Warning, this will erase all previously stored user codes. Oh, honey. Then they talk about prying and using force, damaging the lock. Now it says here, store a spare physical key in a secure location with a trusted neighbor or in a lockbox and keep a written record of your access codes in a safe place. So, could it be they hid a key somewhere outside? I don't know. Just asking. And they talk about dirty locks, bad batteries, dirty fingerprint sensors or unregistered scans. Very interesting. Physical key override. And see, this keeps coming up too. Many digital locks, especially door locks, have a hidden keyhole for emergencies. How are we going to find out he stuck a key in a keyhole? Just like I'm reading and learning this information that I knew nothing about. You're trying to get in somebody's house. Let's say these people did not open the door for Mr. McKee. He just did the same thing I'm doing. He went to Google. And more than likely, he probably has digital door keypad himself, he would know all these things anyway. I live in an apartment building, and I live in a building where we have to have a key card to get in, and then that's when we have just a regular key lock for our main apartment door. But he's a homeowner, probably living in a multi-million-dollar home, apartment, condo. Those keypads have an override where you can access a key instead of a passcode. And the one thing I keep seeing in all these little articles I was reading while I was quiet is that different things can cause issues with the keypad not to work properly. Dirty fingerprint sensors, dead batteries. And then you want to get in, just stick a damn key in a keyhole. Lord have mercy. Weigh in, everybody. Tell me what you think. I'm going to put up a poll. I'm going to ask you all, do you believe Monique was talking to Mr. Micheal McKee, her ex-husband? Is there anybody in the chat that would like to join the panel? Because I'm not going to hold you all. It's an hour and 16 minutes into this live. If there's somebody that want to come up, give their opinion, I'll gladly bring you up. It's up to you. Oh, man, what a mess. There's 1,000 questions. People really, that's the one question everybody's going to ask is how the hell he got in there. And that guy is not a small guy. How big was the basement? But they said nothing was jimmied or broken. They would have said a broken window. And who, like I said, you live in the city, you are not about to leave no basement windows unlocked. And most people know to get that hard glass for basement windows so people don't kick them in with their foot trying to break in your house. That hard bubble glass. I don't know. Just a hot butter mess. Hold on one second, everybody. I'm going to put this in here. Oh, Lord. I was almost afraid to even ask who the hell did it. Because there's so many crackpots out here. You just don't know. Somebody they knew. That's what a lot of law enforcement was thinking. Somebody they knew. Lord have mercy, what a mess. I can't even imagine what she was thinking when she saw it. And then he was in his bed. We're still trying to figure out how did the friend see him lying down. Because Banfield gave an area view of the place last night on her channel. And she said, there's no way that you could crawl up the front or the back, really, to get an area view to see that this man was lying down in his bedroom. So I'm curious about that as well. When the guy was talking to the 911 dispatch, how could you have seen him? Because there was no way to climb up to the back of the house unless you had a ladder. Didn't show a ladder. And as she said, you looking through the neighbor's house, doubt you could see that far away. I don't know. Still some weird ass shit going on. Well, Donna, if he had been bothering him, I would think that we would have heard about that by now. Hey, the lady was having problems with her ex-husband. She filed a restraining order. She made some reports to the police department that she's getting nasty text messages, Dear John letters, blah, blah, blah. Haven't heard any of that. But then you got to remember, he does not live in Ohio. So he's traveling a little ways from Chicago to Columbus. That's a nice distance. Let me Google that, the distance this fool's traveling. What is the distance between Chicago and Columbus, Ohio? 5 hours and 31 damn minutes. $356 miles. Lord have mercy. So if he was stalking this lady and her husband, when was the last time he was in Ohio? Hello, Bumblebee. It's been reported that there are 3 people went into the house. There are 911 calls, and you can hear one man, going down the stairs. Well, that's what we've been trying to question. You saying I can see he's by the bed, or I don't want to go look. It didn't make no sense to me because I didn't even have to have an area view of the whole townhouse. I could have just since looking at the front of the house. I thought, well, where are you looking to see? So now you got to still ask, how the hell did they get in? Because the door, if it's a padlocked door, whether digital or the hard button, the door should have been locked after the person left out of the house. Wouldn't it automatically close? So how did they get in? Say none of this making no sense. They said 2 friends and a neighbor went in. Well, how did they get in is what we're saying, sweetheart. Hit the link. If any of you have anything you want to add to this commentary, the link is in the chat. I'm assuming the neighbor might have had the code. Yeah, that ain't no good either. Yeah, because that's the one thing that didn't make any sense when the person was talking. I can see him, but then he made it seem like he couldn't get closer to look because the dispatcher was asking when he was describing the puddle of blood, he's made it seem like he couldn't look any farther. So I kept trying to figure out, well, if you're in there, why can't you look? You can't look because you don't want to look? Or where is your advantage? I mean, where's your vantage point that you're seeing your friend dead? That doesn't make no sense. This is just a bad, just once again, another sick case of hatred. And I'm going to tell you something. With the way people act now, messaging, going live, there's no way she didn't know he still had feelings or he was angry that she moved on. Let's just keep it real. Not in today's time, you know. Even these stalkerish fans leave some type of note or something to a famous person to let them know, hey, I like you, I'm watching you or something. I can't see this man was driving all the way to Ohio and still never saying something to her, trying to reach out to her, messenger her. She had the same phone number. Hey, I'm outside. Hey, I'm down the street at the coffee house. Hey, can you come meet me? I need to talk to you. I need to see you. See, we don't really know how it went, but I doubt he's just, for 8.5 years, he's been holding on and they said shit. Because what's the point? You're mad that you're divorced and you're just going to be walking around mad for 8.5 years. You don't say nothing. And I ain't saying he didn't. I'm just saying in the world that we live in, people usually express themselves. Bonnie says, I think the friend was inside the house. I don't know how they got in, though. On the 911 call, the friend was telling the kids to come downstairs. Okay. I don't know what else to say. I'm going to put up a poll while I'm on this live. Once again, Chicago, Illinois is 5 hours and 31 minutes. to Columbus, Ohio, allegedly where these people live. So he's living in Chicago. He works in Rockford. Rockford is a little ways from Chicago, outside of Chicago. It's a whole other city. It ain't no damn suburb. So everybody don't live where they work. Don't you find that interesting? The dentist, he didn't work in Columbus. He worked outside an hour and 16 minutes, 17 minutes from his job. Now we got the doctor, killer. He lives in Chicago but works in Rockford. Everybody's commuting to work. And while we're commuting, we're also obviously stalking people all the way over in Chicago, all the way over in Columbus, 5.5 damn hours away. So in your spare time, hey, what have you been doing? What'd you do this weekend? Oh, I drove over to Columbus almost 6 damn hours to watch my ex-wife's house. What the fuck? My boy said he had someone close watching them, etc. Why do you say that? It said they still have mutual friends. So they had friends in Ohio. Yeah, he's from Ohio too. Well, one thing I've learned about people, they can get motherfuckers to do stuff. Excuse my language. People can get other people to do things for them. I see that Mr. Sharon Moore has received his termination letter as the head coach of the University of Michigan football team. Because as most of you know, I gave you that up, been talking about that story. And it also here saying that he lied during the investigation. I'll have to do a update on that. And what was I supposed to be looking for? See, I lost my train of thought. They went to school together. Who went to school together? Oh, man. I forgot. Was I supposed to be looking something up? Oh, I was supposed to be doing a poll. You all got me thrown off. Lord have mercy. Looking at these updates on my phone. Sorry about that. I'm just glad it's over with because my head was just going in circles. And I get it. You know, when you get impatient, you're trying to figure out who the person is that is the suspect. And I knew, law enforcement were going to be doing their job. Naturally, they can't tell us everything, but I'm just tired of everybody regurgitating the same information, which was nothing because we didn't know nothing. And now we know it's an ex-husband. You still got 1,000 questions. So we're going to ask about Monique. Did Monique correspond with ex-husband Micheal McKee before murder or before being unalive, excuse me? This should be interesting. Nobody wants to come up here and talk to the queen? Shut your mouth. Boy, that'll be fun. That'll be something we find out they were talking. Oh my God. All right, everybody, you got 3 options. Yes, no, and not sure. Did Monique respond with ex-husband Micheal McKee before she and husband were unalive? Take the poll. Take the poll. Were they talking? I'm going to run the storyline by you one more time. It's about 1 minute long. Not seeing any other updates about this man. Here's one from 9 minutes ago.
Murders of a dentist and his wife in Columbus, Ohio. Her ex-husband now arrested and charged with their murders. The couple was found shot to death late last month. Their 2 young children also inside the home, but safe. ABC's Olivia Rubin with late details.
Tonight, a stunning arrest in the murder of an Ohio dentist and his wife. Police now charging her ex-husband with the gruesome crime. Monique and Spencer Tepe were found gunned down in their Columbus home on December 30th, police say. A concerned friend going over and finding a pool of blood.
His body, he's laying next to his bed, off of his bed in his blood.
Now police have arrested 39-year-old Micheal McKee. Court records obtained by ABC affiliate WSYX show Monique and McKee divorced in 2017 after less than 2 years of marriage. Those documents saying they are, quote, incompatible. Police searching for days, releasing this surveillance footage of a person of interest. According to a police affidavit, investigators identifying a suspect through surveillance footage, which they say showed a car arrived, quote, just prior to the homicides and left shortly after. Police soon saying they found that car in Illinois and linked it back to McKee. And with tonight, the Tepe family says this arrest is an important first step towards justice. McKee is now facing 2 counts of murder and is set to make his first court appearance on Monday.
ABC News is the source if you need verification. Well, since I don't have any takers, that's fine. I've asked all the pertinent questions that I can think of during this live stream to how we got to where we are pertaining to 2 dead people and now an arrest, and the arrest being the ex-husband of Monique Tepe. 2 children have been left without parents. I do not know what was going on with Monique and this man, her ex-husband. I don't know if he was carrying a grudge for 8.5 years, 7 years, 5, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't know. I don't know if they were corresponding. I don't know if he had reached out to her recently. I don't know if they have always been still talking cordial. Don't know if he wanted to get back with her. Don't know if she misled him or led him on and made him think they were going to get back together. Don't know if they've had any type of sexual relations and she let him know, I'm not leaving my husband. I don't know. But something happened. And frankly, 8.5 years to then go murder somebody in an entirely different state would lead me to wonder if perhaps something may have been going on between the 2. Now, I get it. People can hold grudges, but usually that's women. Women can hold the grudges when the husband has moved on with the mistress, the girlfriend, the new wife. You usually see that with women. You heard of Betty Broderick and other women. You know, their husbands are out sleeping around, messing around. They decide to run them over with a car or shoot them. You rarely hear of the guy holding a grudge for damn near almost 9 years. That's a long time. It's not to say it can't happen, just saying you usually hear that it's women holding the grudge. Bonnie says, I think she entertained his text emails on some level. Okay. Donna says, well, they have gadgets that can make cameras stop working. So with all this AI tech stuff going on, I wouldn't be surprised. The camera stopped working. Well, that's my point. If you got motion sensors, you're supposed to be hearing something moving about. But if you're asleep, you're not going to hear anything. So this is why this is puzzling to how he got in. He would have had to have some type of gadget to defunct everything. That's motion sensors. If they had motion sensors on the house to not beep, bleep, and also unlock that damn door. And this is why they tell you, you have to be careful the codes you use, just like you would passwords, because people who know you, they can assume you're going to use a birthday, a kid's birthday, a parent's birthday. Those are usually passwords people use. Birthdays, because they're easier to remember. And that'll be interesting to find out if that's the password to that house, one of their birthdays, one of the children's birthdays. And if you got somebody watching you and watching your pages, your social media pages, they know when your child was born, children. And I want to talk about that for a minute too, because I didn't touch on it during this live stream, so forgive me. This man could be, yes, spitfire angry. I've been wanting her. She won't take me back. She got a dentist. I'm a doctor. I'm better. And then she had the nerve to have children with him and not me. Why him? And if you've ever been in this place, you know what I'm saying. Because we have all been disappointed by someone. We may have even been the catalyst to the problem. May own it, may not own it. But I want the person back. I need them back. They don't want me back. So now I got to handle business. Dirty business. He's angry. And as I said, I don't know if this man's been holding this grudge for almost 9 years, or he had been talking to Monique and she was either coddling him, misleading him, or doing something with him. Take your pick. But the fact that he's in that house is a mystery to me. And if he did not use some type of gadget, or he didn't fumble with the lock or find a key hidden under a rock, somebody let him in, or drum roll, somebody gave him the key passcode to get in. Now that's something we have not discussed in 1 hour and 37 minutes of this live stream. Could it be that he already knew the passcode to get in? And the only way he would know that is if one of them gave it to him. Shut your mouth. Or he hung around people that they know, and one of them knew it and said it to him. Oh, I know the passcode. She's using her daughter's birthday, son's birthday. You understand what I'm saying? And they don't know he's seething, mad, jealous, angry, homicidal. But he got in that house. So that's what I'm waiting to hear or see. Video footage of him going in this house and how the hell he got in. And it will be sad to find out that she was canoodling with her ex-husband while married. And then it led to her and her husband's demise and left her children without parents. But this is what I have said to people and said to myself mainly watching their videos. And as I said, this is not to victim shame or victim blame because I don't really know what was going on with any of these people. What happened in June, July 21 may not be the picture December 30th, 2025. Couple kissing and laughing during a wedding ceremony. That may not have been the bag in December. Maybe they weren't happy. Maybe it wasn't all kissy face. Because one thing we've learned about life, people change. And usually it's the first few years in a relationship and marriage is when you realize if you are with your soulmate, shall I say. Because you see, her marriage went downhill with Michael within 2 years. And they always say that 2 to 3 year mark is the honeymoon phase. When everything's great and lovely. But it also can go downhill. 2 years, 1 month. And it's like, damn, who the hell did I marry? The hell was I thinking? So that's the question I'm going to ask to the general audience. Were these two actually a happy couple? Number one. Was Monique entertaining her ex-husband by conversation, public meetings, sex? What? Or was this man just hung up on his ex-wife, couldn't move on, and finally chose this day, the 30th of December, to unalive she and her husband? Because I'm not going to be able to really assess a hypothesis until I know how he got in her house. So I have to wait for the sheriff, police, whomever to tell Queen, this is how Micheal McKee got in that address. And when they come back and tell Queen how he got in, then I will come back and tell you my thoughts and my assertion. But I really can't make a definitive assertion of what the fuck was going on with these people until I know how the hell he got in that house. Because if he didn't break in, he didn't jimmy the doors, he didn't use a gadget, one of these people let him in. And why in the hell would you be letting him in the wee hour? For what reason? And you know, you can let the enemy in. As they say, let the right one in. People do it every day. And that is the very reason why they are hurt. They have been hurt or they have been unalived because they let the right one in. Or some of you would say, well, I think it's the wrong one. You don't know people. You don't know that somebody's going to be holding a grudge against you. You don't know that somebody's going to be planning your demise, wanting you hurt. And maybe this is an ego trip for Mr. McKee. He was on an ego trip. I'm not with her. We left amicably, or she left me, blah, blah, blah. She moved on. Years later, she's hooked up with a dentist. They seem happy. Oh, they have children. Oh, he's got a practice. Oh, what the fuck? So now I want to know, has he been dating anyone, Mr. McKee? And what will that lady or ladies have to say about his behavior and how he had been treating them up until he unalived Tepes? See, everything matters. How this man's navigated at work, how he talks to his friends, his family, his neighbors, what he's been doing in his spare time. Has he been running up and down the fucking highway, stalking these people, showing up, doing crazy stuff, tampering with stuff, cars? See, all that's going to matter. And so now we don't even have to really think about the lady down the street that had somebody banging on her door 11 days beforehand. Probably just some nut job. Wrong door. Mr. McKee had the right door. He knew exactly where he was going. And the fact that they saw his car before the murders, he wanted to make sure they were home. I didn't drive all this way for nothing. I got work to do. Dirty work. And it's no telling how many times he drove by their house. 5.5 hours away. Just riding all the way to Ohio to be damn nosy. But then the flip side could be he was being entertained. And that's what's going to be devastating if we find out, or more devastating to the Tepe family members, that she was messing around with this man and entertaining him and maybe meeting with him. Coffee, drinks, I don't know. I'm not here to say, but it will be hard to hear this down the road through video messages, phones, that they had been talking and possibly touching, playing footsies with one another. It will be very hard for his family to hear that type of information, because then they'll say, oh my gosh, she's the reason my son, brother, friend's dead. Because she's been, as someone in the chat said, entertaining Mr. McKee, her ex-husband. We hear it all the time. And the one thing you all know, and I can speak from experience as a 54-year-old woman, what do we do daily? I want to do a little Silence of the Lambs on you. We covet. Covet what we see every day. So what do we do when things are not going right? We are bored, we are lonely, we're depressed. We gravitate to what is familiar. And this could be the case. Things were not great in the Tepe household relationship, and maybe this woman gravitated back to her ex. And one thing begat another. I don't know, just saying, could be. It happens all the time. Somebody's not happy. Somebody doesn't feel loved. Somebody feels ignored. Somebody's lonely. Somebody thinks, hell, I made a mistake. I'll go call Michael. We're still friends. Or I'm thinking about him. I wonder what he's doing. Hey, how are you? Long time no see, no hear. How have you been? How's your mom? How's your dad? How's your brother? How's your sister? And then one thing begets another. Now we're talking all the time. Now we're trying to figure out a way how to see one another. Stay woke, everybody. Once again, I'm not here to say that this happened, but this is how things can get out of control because emotions get wrapped up, tangled up, and now people start thinking outside of the box in a deadly fashion, of course. And now we want to get rid of some folks. And what would be the perfect way to get rid of a woman and her husband because she won't leave him? Checkmate. Hot damn. Oh, you've been using me? You misled me, lead me on, making me think you still care, love me, want to be with me. You done made babies with him, and now you telling me you ain't gonna leave him? Oh, hell no. See, who knows? Could be they were cordial, and he misread her being nice. She could have said, hey, I know we didn't work out. I just want us to remain friends, no hard feelings. But I'm not leaving my husband and I'm not getting ready to do anything with you. Who knows? Only time will tell. Like, share, subscribe. Drop your comments below this live. Follow me on the Newsbreak app. Check out my extensive library, 5,000 plus videos. Take the polls on my community page and tell me what you think. I'm leery about putting anything nefarious pertaining to these people. So I asked just one question. Had she been corresponding with Mr. Tepe? I'm going to wait until they do a press conference, and then I'll decide to go into Billy the Beast with the hardcore questions as not to be offensive. But you know, Queen, eventually I will ask if there was something going on between Monique and Michael. Number one, was he stalking her? Had they rekindled a relationship? Did she lie and tell him she was going to leave her husband but didn't? Did she reach out to him in a lonely situation but had no intent of leaving her husband but just wanted to talk to someone, but then it led to something? Weigh all the options and tell me what you think below this live stream. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $, Big Angie, 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. This is my commentary, everybody. Michael David McKee, 39, has been arrested for the murders of Spencer and Monique Tepe. He was once married to Monique, and they've been divorced since 2017. He is currently, or was before his arrest, a vascular surgeon who is no longer. What would the bail be? Should there be a bail? Because if he comes from some people with some money, has some friends in high places, might be able to make the bond. Bail, don't know. Will there be a bail? Cash only? Possibly so. Will he be able to make it? Now imagine him walking around. He's got some hard features, I must say. When I looked at that mugshot, I thought, ooh, honey, I don't know about this fella. He looks like he can hold a grudge. But that's the whole point. You don't know people. Had I not seen him in that photograph and saw him walking around at the grocery store, he might have seemed like a real nice guy, smiling, willing to hand you the ketchup bottle because you couldn't reach it. You know what I mean. Where's this story? Or shall I say, how's this story going to unfold? What are we going to learn about the Tepes and the relationship with Mr. Micheal McKee? Was something going on between he and Monique? or just a man scorned and had not moved on and decided to unalive this couple December 30th, 2025. That's my commentary, everybody. Thank you for your time. You've been listening to the Vault XL.